Hello, this is Laura Sanchez and welcome to Laura Loves Lessons. Today is January 22nd. It's a beautiful, we got fresh snow this weekend, so that was great. I am here to talk about both Rennie and Violet, and there's lots to tell. So I'll start out with Violet. Violet and I have been kind of a little bit rocky this week. She's been choosing to be upset about the gates, and she likes to scoot and rush away, and so when we've been jumping, she would just rush to the diagonal lines that are away from the gate, and that was kind of tough. And then plus she'd want to jump in early, come in early rather than go right by the gates. So I went out there this morning and I lunged her by the gates and cantered her and made her canter around the arena, and she was so good and soft. And then I rode her for 10 minutes, just 10 minutes, by the gates. So we did little figure eights around the gates. We did shoulders and turn on the forehand and turn on the haunches around the gates, and lots of just walking around the gates, and she was a good relaxed girl. So I asked Janet Harms about it today, and she said that probably Violet, Violet's a thoroughbred who likes to negotiate things, and that she's probably just trying to evade. It's no big deal, and that she's probably winter bored, and so that made me feel more confident. So she and I are working on our relationship as usual. And now Rennie. So yesterday Rennie had a lesson, his Saturday morning lesson, which is one of my favorites of the week, and he was so good. He was forward and happy, and we were doing dressage routines. Stacy would call them out, and so we were doing them as pairs, and Rennie and I got to work with Marion Fezzik, and Rennie just thought that was a hoot. He wanted to be right with Fez, and just as good as Fez, and he caught his leads when he was supposed to, and he did his transitions when he was supposed to, and he enjoyed the stretchy trot and the leg yields. He was just a little superstar. I loved him. And today was even better. He had his second dressage lesson with Janet Harms, the head instructor of the University of Findlay. And let me tell you, he brought it. I could tell right away when I arrived in the morning that he had his little sweet look on. And so right away we just started trotting, and he was happy to be in my hands, and he was happy to do his serpentines and circles, and she had us instantaneously doing lots of messing with gates, the transitions within the gates, and she had us doing lots of upwards to the canter and then come down, and then upwards to the canter and then come down, and so he had to be obedient and willing to do it immediately. He wasn't permitted to rush into things. We did lots of collected trotting and extended trotting, but the main thing that was super cool was we kept on doing this figure eights that went around like this and around like this, like a 3-circle figure eight. And we had to come down to a trot and come over to a canter at any point on the circle, and then we had to canter immediately when we changed directions, canter immediately, and he was loving it. He would get into trouble sometimes, because sometimes he'd want to rush into it, but then he would take the correction. And sometimes he wanted to leap into the canter, and he understood and took the correction for that. And so finally he was just floating up into the canter, exactly when asked. It was the best kind of feeling. So there, I'm raving like a lunatic, but let me just say, today's lesson with Janet Harms was awesome, and I have an awesome pony who I think could be an eventer. I'm pretty sure if I had the talent, Rennie could take me there. I wish I had the talent. You take care. Have a good week.